Country music is in an uproar this last week. Lots of stuff going on there. $1.08 billion. What would you do with it? And I'm going to bring you a very unique happy birthday. Welcome back. Thanks for stopping by Two Hands and a Foot. We won't tell you who's who. Before we get started, though, I got something to ask of you. You know the drill. Go ahead and hit that like button. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already done so. Click that notification bell so you never miss an episode. And then please, 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 we want to get this channel big. So let's share this with all of our friends. Now let's get into it. I've never been a real big fan of country music. It's not my top genre to listen to. I learned to tolerate and then to appreciate a little bit after 4 years of college in Southwest Missouri. But it's not my top pick. If I had to pick one genre, it probably wouldn't even be my top three of whatever. But I am familiar with it to a degree. And I do know these two artists that I'm going to be talking about here. The first one we got, Miranda Lambert. If you haven't seen it yet, she's recently got done with a show for her concert tour or whatever. And in the middle of one of her songs, she stops the music and chides some people near the front for taking a picture. And she even goes on to say that it's pissing her off. Okay. Well, first off, Miranda, they paid to be there. You should be thankful that they're wanting to take a picture to remember the event by. Just shut up and sing. I mean, it's not stopping you from singing. I'm sure there were other people who were taking pictures as well. You just happen to see these people in a VIP lounge. Look at the picture they took. They had a group picture taken. All these women dolled up out for a nice event. And it looks like they were in a VIP area because it's not, traditional concert seating that you're looking at there. So they're paying good money to be here. They're having an event. They're wanting to remember it. Awesome. Good. Great. Grand. Miranda, shut up and sing. Shut up and sing. Are you so self-absorbed you cannot stand being the center of attention for a minute so that they can get their group picture and remember this forever and say good things about the concert? Now, instead, they're going to say bad things about the concert. There's no excuse. There's no excuse for what she said. Now, if she doesn't like people taking pictures, I can't help that dislike. There's only been one place that I've ever been in this entire world that not only did I think that it was inappropriate to take pictures, but for me, I felt it was wrong for me to take pictures. Now, let me explain. There were plenty of other people who were taking pictures, but the building was silent. And this place was and is the Holocaust Museum in Washington, D.C. And I'll tell you this, from the moment that I got past all the check-in, the security, and signing in and getting a wristband to go through, to me it felt like hallowed ground, to put it that way. Going from spot to spot, you followed this kind of a trail going through. There's hardly anything above a whisper in that entire building for the entire time that it took to go through that tour of that building. Not anything above a whisper. And so there, I felt that not only was it inappropriate, but it was, for me, it would be wrong for me to take pictures of anything in that building. Not for sensitivity purposes as far as security or anything like that, but out of sheer reverence for what these people went through. and the horror that was placed upon them. Now, Miranda, your concert is not that oppressive. That's what happened to these people who died in the Holocaust. So, are you that self-absorbed that you feel that it's not worthy of a picture? That your presence is more whatever, that no one can take a picture of you? You're missing me on that one. You're missing me on that one. Another country music artist was in the hot seat, so to speak. Jason Aldean. They're calling him a racist, equating his lyrics to incite violence. And read the lyrics. Not a mention of race anywhere in those lyrics. The title of the song is Try That in a Small Town. The video came out recently. The song actually came out in May, and no one had a problem with the lyrics. The video came out recently, and people are having a problem with that. And now, it's gotten big, and now we're going to make a fuss about it. So it mentions crimes, it mentions behaviors that would not work out well for the people performing those behaviors in a small town. So I'll read off to you some of the lyrics here real quick, and then we can go from there. So the first verse goes like this: sucker punch somebody on a sidewalk, carjack an old lady at a red light, pull a gun on the owner of a liquor store. Yeah, think it's cool. Well, act like a fool if you like. Cuss out a cop, spit in his face, stomp on the flag and light it up. Yeah, think you're tough. And then it goes excuse me, then it goes into the chorus. Well, try that in a small town, the first line of the chorus. You can continue to read the rest of those lyrics, but there is not a mention of race or promotion of violence in any of those lyrics. There's just not. So I don't know where anybody's coming from with all this. It baffles the brain that people are going after Jason Aldean's song. We've got songs like WAP out there that no one's throwing a fuss over. I mean, it's a grossly disgusting song, and no one's throwing a fuss over that. But a country music singer says, don't do your city stupid crap in our small town, or you'll find out it won't go over well for you. Which you could go with, he's being a tough guy mentality, taking the law in his own hands. Well, small towns, usually that's the way that it is, that the law is that close with what goes on in town. And so, not necessarily becoming law enforcement, but handling things. That's why those things don't happen in small towns very often. Because people know that in a small town, there's nowhere to hide. And if people know that they're going to get whooped for doing something stupid in a small town, then they're not going to do something stupid in a small town. Grand idea. If people knew that they were actually going to get punished for doing stupid things, they'd stop doing them. But we don't punish people. We want to, lighten sentences or take forever to get justice for victims. Try that in a small town. Something good out of California. The lottery in California was up to $1.08 billion. someone just won that. Out of a store in L.A., $1.08 billion. There's two options for payment. You could take the $558.1 million lump sum before taxes, which will get you about $200 and maybe $80 million. A good chunk of change. After your taxes and after having to pay more taxes because you bumped up into the next tax bracket. Don't forget those hidden taxes. But $1.08 billion. What would I do with 1.08? Oh yeah, the second option for payment. You can get it's like a 30-year payment plan where you get a smaller lump sum and then payments out to reach that rest of the 558 minus taxes amount. Anyway, what would I do with with $1.08 billion? If I could just get that, no taxes, dream world, because it's not going to happen. Even if I got a substantial amount of money of $250 million after those taxes and extra taxes and taxes on the taxes, what would I do? Well, it sounds corny, but because it's first on the list, but work with me here. I'd give to organizations and charities that I believe in. There are organizations that I've been a part of that have made an impact on my life. There are organizations that have impacted my life because of the places that I've been in my life. They were there and did something phenomenal for me or for my family. And so I would love to be able to bless them with an amount of money that they haven't seen. I would also, because, paper, digital ones and zeros don't last. So I'd invest in gold. I'm no fool. I may not live to be 103 like Jiminy Cricket, but I'm no fool. So I'm going to invest in some gold. And no, I don't have a gold sponsor saying to invest in gold, which one to do whatever. But if you're a gold person and you want to send a sponsor my way, hint, hint, let's go for it. But anyway, I'd invest in gold. And now comes the more selfish side of things. I would buy at least 5,000 acres of land, and I would build a house smack dab in the middle of it. It would be in a place where I'm not around a whole lot of people. Obviously 5,000 acres, but that 5,000 acres is still not around a whole lot of people. I'd love to do that. And details, I just want a house in the middle of it. That'll be as far as I go on that one. I'd also love to travel. One of the things on my bucket list is to visit and to say I've been to all 7 continents. I've been to 4 of them. And so I need to hit South America, I need to hit Australia, and I need to hit Antarctica. Those are all, 2 out of the 3 are really expensive to get to. And so if I could combine the least expensive with probably the most expensive to get to, maybe a package deal get there, I would do it. But I don't have the money right now to do so. But if I had $1.08 billion, that would be on my top of my travel list right there. But I'd also like to go to other places, other famous places. Like, I know people dog on it, but I would go to the Louvre in France. I would, just to say that I've been there. The Leaning Tower of Pisa, just to say that I've been there. I would probably even take one of those corny photos of me being a distance away and acting like I'm, holding up the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Like I've been to the Great Wall of China, but I'd like to go again. Places like the Eiffel Tower, places that have significance. A lot of national parks here in the United States I would love to visit. I'd like to visit each of the 50 states. I've been to a lot of them, but I'm lacking on my western and west coast states. So I need to hit on that. And so I think that would be something that I'd be interested in doing with some of that money. But what would you do with $1.08 billion? I'd be interested to know. Hit me up in the comments and let's see. Grandmothers. I miss my grandmothers terribly. Both of my grandmothers have passed away, and they played a major role in my life. And I'm so grateful for the time that I had with them. I'm so glad that I had a long time with them as far as grandparents are concerned. I know a lot of people who've lost their grandparents early on in their lives. My cousins, for that matter, that are 10, 15 years younger than me, didn't have, obviously, as much time with their grandparents as I did. And so I miss my grandmothers. All four of my grandparents are dead, but I'm talking about grandmothers here. I miss my grandmothers. So there's a story, another great thing out of California. There's a story out of California of a grandmother who surprised her grandson for his 4th birthday. Absolutely phenomenal story. So this grandmother purchased some helium-filled balloons, a bunch of them, with a bunch of birthday decorations on them, and then had a blank one in the shape of a star and wrote a message on it. And she called or FaceTimed her grandson, and who with his mother and father live in Texas, and FaceTimed and talked to him and said she wanted to give him a really special birthday present. So she walked outside and she released the balloons into the air and said, "I'm sending these balloons to you." And so she talked for a while and then said, "Hey, did the balloons get there?" And so the little boy goes run into the front door, and I think the mom's holding the camera, or one of the two, mom or dad, is holding the camera, and the little boy walks out the door and caught in the windshield wiper of the Jeep that's sitting in the driveway are the balloons that Grandma sent with the message that's on the star balloon, like "Happy birthday, grandson." And it was absolutely phenomenal. Now, you and I both know how the balloons got there. You know, the grandma either bought them and sent them, and the parents filled them up with helium or whatever, or the exact same balloons were available at the got them at the same store or whatever. But they didn't travel from California to Texas, is what I mean. They really didn't. You and I both know that. But for the sake of the story, that 4-year-old boy now has a story to tell. Grandma sent up some balloons, and they made it to Texas from California. Amazing story of the creativity that a grandmother has to show affection for a loved one. Absolutely amazing story. And so even when the kid finally grows up and figures out that that's not possible, the thing he's going to keep from that is, Grandma loved me enough to do this special thing for me. My grandmother loves me so much. I think it's absolutely cool. So let's not stop being. Let's not stop being creative. Let's continue to be creative in how we deal with those that we love. It's just an awesome, unique story that I wanted to share. It touched my heart. I hope it touches yours. That's all I have for today. I have everything that we've discussed with the links in the description. Go ahead, stop by all that. Go check those out. Read the full articles. Listen to the music video. And get on with it. You can follow me on Twitter. And that way you can keep in touch with the throughout the day comments that I have going on. Also, again, share this with your friends. We want to make this going big. Again, that's all I have for today. Have a great day, and I will catch you on the flip side.